Somebody shout a loud hallelujah. Amen. So, as part of our Black History Month celebration, we are putting this conference together on how to turn your skill into money. So, we are going to have a conversation today. I will call it a conversation to create a spark to what God is going to be doing through this platform in the years to come. So just to exalt us a little bit before we begin to bring up all our panelists that are going to discuss with us today, I just want us to bow our heads wherever we are. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we thank you. We give you glory. We give you honor. We thank you for all that you have done for us as a people. And Lord Almighty, we ask that even as we gather here this afternoon, we ask for your wisdom, we ask for your counsel, we ask, oh Lord, that all that we are going to deliberate here, Father, let it at the end be unto thy glory in Jesus' name. Amen. So I want us to go quickly to the book of Matthew chapter 25. I'm not going to read too much of Bible verse, but I'm just going to speak on the parable of the talent, all right, and which every one of us know very well. The Bible said, and to some he gave 10, and to some he gave 5, and to some he gave 2, and someone he gave 1. And that parable literally teaches us that there is no one that God did not give something, all right? But the question is what we do with those gifts is what matters a lot. And we can see from that parable that the one who had 5 went and traded and brought 10. All right, the one that had 2 went in and traded and brought 4. But the one that had 1, dug the ground and buried it. All right, so we discovered that many people have gifts that will bring transformation to mankind, but have decided to bury it. And the goal of this conference with Afrocentric and with Winners Christian Ministry is to be able to shed the light on the ability for us to be able to bring out the gift that God has given us and to be a blessing to our people. So most of the people we are going to be speaking with today are people who have actually walked the walk, have experienced the transformation, and want to share their testimony to the world at large. So for those of you who are watching online, please go ahead and post your question or, share your information if you want to know more from our speakers today. So I'm going to be moderating this great program this morning with my own sister and a woman that God has connected with me for quite some time now. And she's nobody but Mrs. Dennis. Can we put our hands together as she comes forward? She's going to literally introduce herself and speak more about her organization, and then we will take it from there. Can we put our hands together, please?
Thank you. All right, so my name is Helena, and I am the founder for Afri Connect. So what we pretty much do is, sorry guys, okay. So can you guys hear me? Okay. So the organization is pretty much about helping the African community and the African community. So we just do different programs like this each month to make sure that we are educating the African community to get to know a lot of things. So example for today, we know a lot of Africans have good skills, but we don't know how to monetize it. So today our goal is just like Pastor just talked about. Our goal is to bring people that have actually turned their skill or their God-given talents into money or into business and earning money out of it. AfriConnect really is about, I mentioned, we help the African communities, which is the existing immigrants and the new immigrants. So we just, if you are a new immigrant and you come here, we are able to like help you get on your feet. So if you have a family, we help you get diapers. We connect you to like different resources in the community. And then also the existing immigrants, if you have like, we know struggles happen. So like if you are struggling with your rent, if you are struggling with like, anything in the community, to be able to like connect you to get all those resources. So yeah, like resource based. We help connect you to the community resources that you never thought it even existed. So that's what we pretty much do. We also have um, a mental health counseling. So we have like professional counselors that also like offer therapy to individuals, and like we take insurance. We are open to the whole entire public. Our services are free except for the counseling part. So when you come like seeking for, let's say you need help to pay your rent, you need help to pay your utilities and things like that, we'll help you find it with free of charge because we are nonprofits. But when you come seeking for counseling, because we have to pay the counselors, we do accept insurance, so you don't have to pay out of pocket. So that's also like a great, and we'll put our information on different platforms for you guys to access if you are looking for. We accept Medicaid and all type of insurances. So that's pretty much what AfriConnect is about, and I'm excited today that we're doing this because our community needs this. We need this type of education that you don't have to work for someone for the rest of your life. You can actually turn even if you're a barber, you know how to cut hair, you can actually turn that barbering skills into like a whole job, and that will be your only job, and you be your own boss. And if you know how to decorate, you can be your own boss and be able to decorate for a living. And then also, if you know how to make something, like today we have someone who makes skin products and all that. She's able to do that, like, as a full-time job. So that's what we're here for today. So get all your questions coming, and then we hope that we're able to, like, impact someone out there. Thank you. Helena.
Helena, let's put our hands together. So we are going to take our seat, and I will start calling up all our panelists to come forward, and the discussion will start. Ms. Helena, can you just have your seat?
Thank you.
And please bear with me. She's also a mother, a wife, and an expected mother. So
yes.
we don't want to stress her too much today. All right, so can we put our hands together again for the King of Glory? Amen. Amen. So the first I want to call is going to be Pastor Rex Olufemi Johnson. Pastor Rex is the resident pastor here at Winners Christian Ministry, and he's from Sierra Leone and has been a director at Believers Broadcasting Network Sierra Leone, has worked in that organization for over 18 years, and very sound man of God, but does forex trading as a gift that God has given unto him. And I'm going to welcome him, and he's going to be sharing with us in details how God has used this gift to be a blessing to his life and the whole story behind it. Have a seat, sir. All right. Can we put our hands together for Pastor Rex? All right. So I'm going to allow my sister Helen to call up one of the panelists today.
All right. So the next person I'm going to call is Mrs. Trisha Cote. She is the owner for Glory Events and Deco, like one of the best decorators in Columbus. Like, you can't even disagree, like, or agree on that, like, So we're going to put your hands together to welcome Miss Trisha. All right, the next person I have on here is Jasmine, Miss Jasmine. She is a skincare product. She makes skincare products. So can we put our hands together for her? if you don't know her products, you need to find out because it's the best one.
All right,
Let's clap for her.
I'm gonna be calling on Miss Victoria Jacobs, who happened to be a fashion designer, and I would say one of the best of our own time. Let's put our hands together for Miss Victoria Jacobs.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Okay, let's put our hands together. I think I need help with mic number one. Thank you so much, Miracle Ademidier. All right, we got it. Okay, a little bit volume. Okay. All right. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming and part of our Black History Month celebration. And thank you, Ms. Helena, for putting this together and also carrying Winners Christian Ministry along. We all know the challenges that African Americans are facing in the United States, and also the mindset, I would say the mindset which has produced the attitude of which has, put us as a people economically where we are today. So what we are doing here is to be able to inspire and to also encourage our people to walk out of the woods, do better, all right, and be an instrument of change. And I'm just going to quote one of Barack Obama's quote, and he says that change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for, and we are the change that we seek. So as part of that catalyst of change, we are coming together as a community, and it is just not going to end here, but this is actually going to be a link for us to do more for our Black community and to inspire many to do better. So I'm going to hand over the mic again to Ms. Helena to speak a little bit about the Black History Month before we begin to take our questions.
Okay. It's working. All right. So we all know like the month of February is put aside for for the Black community. It doesn't mean like the whole entire year we shouldn't celebrate us or we shouldn't do anything Black. But this month is specifically just put for us to remember our history and also how far we've come. And if you look at our society or our community, I feel like Black people, we should be proud of ourselves because we've come a long way. Just looking back 10 years ago, a lot has changed, and just having all these privileges and advantages, we should be doing like things that will always like grow our community and benefit our community. So what I want to say for this month of Black History Month is, since we're here talking about talents and skills today, whatever talents you have, regardless what age you are, I want you to really focus on what we're about to talk about today and learn from all these people up here and really rethink about your life. And it's not too late. It's never too late. Don't sit there and be like, oh, I'm 40 or I'm 30 or I'm like 50, so if my skill don't matter no more. It still matters. Make sure you just tap into yourself and ask God what your talent is and how you can actually use your talents to glorify God and monetize it as well. So that's all I want to say. I want you to take home, like, if you're watching me for Black History Month, think about it. Use this month, think about yourself, and, just see what you're good at and and monetize that or turn that into skills or get help with that and like, make something beautiful out of it.
Thank you so much, Ms. Helena. That is very profound. And so we are going to start by actually having our panelists, introduce themselves and also to just share with us, briefly how they discovered the gift that they are using today to actually put food on the table. Just briefly, your name, the name of your organization, and how this all started. So we are going to start with Miss Victoria Jacobs on my far right. How did you discover this whole gift and also the name of your organization? Just fully introducing yourself.
Thank you very much, Pastor, for this wonderful opportunity. I don't take this privilege for granted. My name is Victoria Jacobs. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a fashion designer, a dressmaker. To the glory of God, it's 5 years I have been in the United States of America, and I've done nothing else than this single business, fashion designing, dressmaking. This talent had come a long way. I believe it's inborn. I discovered as a child, I grew up with my aunties in Lagos back then in Nigeria. I would say when I was growing up, they never used to, my aunties was always transferring her clothes to me as a child. Then I was in primary school. I got to realize that every time my aunties gives me their clothes, I always like to modify them and reduce them into my size. So I was always doing that. There's never a dress that they will give to me that I will not modify to my own style. Either I change the style or I change the size. I will always use it to create something else for myself. And it has been going on like that to the point that then my aunties will be beating me, that they'll be giving me expensive clothes. I will be cutting them down to something else. I will change the style automatically. I will reduce the size. At least I had to reduce it to fit me, because I didn't want to be wearing masquerading dresses as a child. If you give me a child as an adult, and then you expect me to wear it the way I was, the fashion thing had always been in me. I was a stylish person right from childhood. I remember those days before I was moved to stay with my aunties in Lagos. I remember my dad, when he wants to buy us Christmas clothes, then he will come to ask us, he will want to take us to the store. So I always pick my own dress. And they used to give me this nickname, "Show me your back." So, because I always like to pick dress that is very stylish, it was always crisscross at the back. If it's not crisscross at the back, I wouldn't like it. So, I always had to be picking my dresses, my style, my shoes, and everything then. And then moving to Lagos, Nigeria, to stay with my aunt in my primary school days, that was what I was doing. When they dashed me clothes, I modified, I changed them into my own style. And then I grew up like that. Even though I went to school, went to college, I had a degree in chemistry. I finished college as a chemical analyst. So I work in a vegetable oil production company in Nigeria, popularly known as PZ Cousins. I'm not advertising for them though. So I have always been working as a laboratory analyst, and many a time, before I got into that company, many a time I have worked in the field where I never studied for. So I was always, lack of job in Nigeria, you always find yourself doing something that you didn't go to school for. Either I'm a receptionist, a customer service person, and all that, telephonist. So I got to realize that most of the time I always have this insatiate taste for career, for profession. So I was always out of job. So anytime I'm out of job, I always find myself having to do things with materials, with fabrics. I cut and sew, I wear. And then that actually helped me, because when I went into college, I had a little bit of challenge in sponsorship in education. So all I found myself doing in school, I would travel to Lagos. I schooled in Ogun State. I would travel to Lagos. I'll go to the Yaba. I'll buy T-shirts. I take back to school. I modify them. Sometimes I can cut them off, make them sleeveless. I was just modifying clothes and I'll be selling to my friends. So that was how I survived in school, in college, and all through. Even when I came out of college, and I was always losing job because of that insatiable desire for career. I realized that I was always losing my job. And throughout the period, the period I'll be waiting for another job, I just find myself doing the sewing thing. I always make clothes and for my friends. I tell them, give me something. That was how it started. Until even when I was employed in a big company as a chemical analyst, in that company, while I was on the job, I was dressing people. I made a denim shirt for a guy I was dating then. So other colleagues in the office saw the shirt and they were like, this is a nice shirt. Who made it? It was a denim shirt. I never saw it anywhere, but I just bought the material. I made it for the guy and he wore it to the office and every other person liked it. So lo and behold, most of the male managers, top managers, they all consulted me to make them that shirt. So that shirt became a uniform in my company then. So, and that was it. And that was just it.
Amen.
So because of time, I'm just going to stop here for now.
Praise the Lord. What a wonderful one. Thank you so much, Miss Victoria Jacobs. We are going to, I'm going to call on my co-host here, Miss Helena, to introduce one of our key speakers here to share also their story.
All right. I think we can just let everybody kind of
Okay.
introduce.
All right, let's do that. Miss Kwate, please, can you share your story and how you got this passion and the desire to be the best decorator? I've been on your website before. Yeah.
Thank you, and I really appreciate the invite. I do not take this for granted, and I bless God for Pastor, what you're doing, and the service you are rendering to our community. Again, my name is Trisha Kote. I am from Ghana. I am first and foremost a mother, and I'm also married to a pastor. So we are blessed to be to be here. I have 4 kids, and I manage 3 businesses, but the one I'm most passionate about and would want to talk about it will be the Glory Event and Decor. This company started here in Columbus approximately 80 years ago. It started as a passion, so I would decorate for family, for friends, for birthdays, for parties and stuff like that. But I realized that there was more I wanted to do than just within families. So I decided that I will put this to test as a business. And we prayed about it, and God being so good, He brought helpers my way, and we started this business. This business has been in existence, as I said, for about 8 years now, but we have had lows and highs in the business, and every business can be challenging one way or the other. And so, but God has been faithful, and I'll say that again, God has been really faithful. And if you're starting a small business and you are facing challenges, do not give up, because the more you press on, the more you are consistent with it, the more people realize the passion, the energy that you have for what you want to do, and the more that people also recognize that the business establishes as it goes. It does not take one day to turn things around. It takes a process. And so I want to say that this is my little story about the decoration company that I have. Today we have almost 8 employees, and we do travel as well to decorate for any and all events.
Thank you so much. Come on, let's put our hands together. That's great. All right, Pastor Rex.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Grateful for this opportunity to be here and to talk about a skill that I've been able to turn into profit. So for stealing. So I was traveling one day from Brussels to, and I picked up a paper, a newspaper, and going to the paper, I got to the financial pages, and seeing charts, I was seeing graphs and figures. I've never been good with maths in school. Never been good in maths. Not a physics person, I'm an arts person. So I see all these figures and all these charts and all of that talking about the world markets. I could not understand it. And so I felt really bad about my ignorance. So I started praying about it and I wanted to conquer it. So that is how that passion started. I had a passion. Something was just ignited in me to learn what they're saying with all these graphs and all these charts. So that became a passion, and it was something I pursued for months until I located a mentor, somebody who is a financial business consultant. He's based in Nigeria, and I located him through lots of research. There's a long story behind lots of processes behind it, but I was able to locate a mentor, somebody who's a proven financial expert, and registered for the course in this academy, and I was taught, and that's where I got to learn about the forex market, and I got to learn how to trade. And I spent some months learning it, and I spent additionally a year practicing it before I went live. When I started trading live money, real money, and it came in very handy during the COVID and during the lockdown period, and I was able to take care of my family from profits from my forex trade.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Miss Jasmine.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Jasmine Van. I own Gluyer Huyo. It's a hair and skincare brand. It's Gluyer Huyo, meaning glory oil. And my reason for the name is my favorite scripture, Psalm 23. I will anoint your head with oil and it will run over. So that was the definition. That was the reason behind the name. His glory is upon us. I started Gluyer. I started a while ago, but it wasn't I didn't plan to sell it. It was mostly because of my skin and hair condition. So I have a very bad sensitive skin and a very bad scalp. So regular store products used to really hurt my hair. You know, my scalp will literally be, I don't know if you've ever had a dry sore. That will be my scalp with everything they put in it. So one day I decided to go back to my roots, what, you know, our grandmothers used to use. Because I was looking at my grandmother's picture and I noticed her hair and I was like, wait, what is she, you know? And I know she doesn't really know much about all of this new stuff. So I know it was our regular shea butter and cocoa butter. So I decided to go back to my roots. So I started doing it on myself, you know, and my hair, I noticed my hair was flourishing, my skin. So people at church started asking, oh, what do you use? What do you use? I started making it for them. And then my aunt called me one day to stop fooling around. Her exact words, stop fooling around and turn this into a business. And with the help of my amazing family and my sisters and all of that, I turned it into a business. We're not there yet, but we're growing. We're growing one day at a time. So yeah, it was through the help of my family. And I also have a talk show, which is Relate with Van Judah on YouTube. I like to talk, so, and there's other things behind it, but to keep it short, yeah, I love media. I love everything about media. I do radio and other things, so that's what birthed my talk show as well. So yeah.
Awesome. 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 Awesome.
Wonderful stories, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. All right. So my next question for all of you guys, anyone can take it first. We know every business, like the way we're saying it, it sounds so smooth and nice, you know, but I know there's always a challenge somewhere. Like when you were starting, what were some of the challenges? And even if you've done it for like 5 years or 2 years or a year, what have been the biggest challenge for you? Anyone can take it first.
Miss Quate?
Well, I'll say that starting a business here can be very challenging. And the reason why I say, for me, it was challenging because even with the registration of the business, you needed to have somebody mentor you through. And I didn't have that knowledge. I thought you could just go on the registrar's site, just register it, and you're going. And so that's what I did. But the first year when I had to file taxes, that is when I realized that, oh, I had made a few mistakes in my registration. And so we had to backtrack and go in and do some amendments. So I would advise that when you're starting a business, research, talk to the accountants, let them know the kind of business you are doing. Either it's an LLC, either it's a sole proprietorship, whatever you want to do. If you want to do as a corporation, let them give you the do's and don'ts, and then decide which one is good for you, because it really matters along the way. So that was one of the challenges that I had faced when I started the business. The other challenge that I'll throw out there too was that in our African community, okay, if you are starting a business, you have to be your own cheerleader. Nobody is going to cheer you up for starting a business, because we all have that mentality that we do not want one to go ahead of us. And it is something that is with our community. We are fighting it, but we'll get there one day. But when I was starting, it was like there was a lot of discouragement. There was a lot of, where am I going to store my stuff? Where, I mean, even funding. You know that the city and there are organizations out there that do have funding opportunities for small businesses and stuff like that. But the people that has already gone ahead of us hesitate to direct us to some of these organizations. And these organizations are there for everyone. It's not just for specific people. And so when I realized that, I mean, I had struggled through like 2 years in the business before even somebody said, hey, stop here. There was funding opportunities here. Held my hand, went through the process. There is this that you can do. Go talk to this person. So I think there are resources out there, and people are hesitant to direct you or show you some of these resources for their selfish purposes and for their selfish needs. But I feel that in this generation, we can undo some of the things that has already been done, but doing the right thing. Because, I mean, a little girl can have a very found talent and skill that person can use and even help community, family, and encourage somebody even outside their scope to also do what they are doing. But if we discourage them in some of these ways, it has a long-term effect on them and also on their surroundings, because they feel like, don't tell, don't ask, you know, but we have to change that narrative. We have to do better. If you know of any resources, if you know of anything that would help somebody, God will bless you for even just telling the person that this is what is available for you. Even you being a mentor for that person, it doesn't have to, the person doesn't have to pay you for it. The thing is, we don't do things sacrificial anymore. We always go for the things that would give us returns, but it's not everything that is worth a return. Even the person just saying, God bless you, goes a long way.
This is powerful. And if this is, for me, if this is the only thing we can grab home today, I mean, this is it. I don't know about any other person, but this is it, you know. The community support, the encouragement that we normally need, especially when we are, you know, building this organization through our gift. Well, who else is going to pick up?
I think I'll pick
All right,
up on
Jasmine.
what Ms. Trish said. You have to be your own cheerleader.
Yep.
I remember when I was starting, I think Helena will be my witness. People will literally call you and be like, oh, everybody's doing it. You can't do it. I had little moments that family members would tell you, oh, it's not going anywhere. It's a waste of time. Even friends that I thought would believe in me did not. You know, there were days that I would crumble and cry. I was like, am I making the right decision? But I could feel in my spirit, upon every time I'll pray about it, it's like, this is what God wants you to do. But then when you keep hearing negative comments, sometimes when you allow it in, it will affect you. So instead of you moving forward, then you become stagnant. So many people have gifts that they can, so many people have gifts to give to this world. They have so many things, but because of comments from people, they stop themselves. I think you have to get to a place of cheering yourself on, encouraging yourself, and pushing yourself to get there, And then also starting to, I'll say, Ms. Trish said, there's so many resources. You have to be willing to educate yourself. Yeah. One thing about Africans is we want people to hand everything to us. But sometimes you have to take the time to learn. You have to take the time. You have to invest in yourself. Because nobody's going to come and invest in you. You have to take the time to invest in yourself. Sacrifice 6 months and learn. They said 3 to 6 months can change your life. You have to sacrifice it and learn as much. If this is really what you want to do, there's a difference if this is like, oh, for fun. Oh, tomorrow I want to learn dancing. That's different. But if this is what you see, because when I started, I was telling Helena, I wasn't just starting it for me. I wanted to leave something for my generation. Yeah. I wanted to leave something when I'm dead and gone, my kids can come. Because one thing I learned about, not to use the lack of better Caucasians or white people, is because when they start something, they don't just start it for their generation. They start it for the generations after. So we have to be willing to invest in ourselves, learn, push ourselves. Nobody's going to come push you. There's like the old adage, you can take a horse to the river, but you can't force the horse to drink. You have to force yourself to drink. You have to make yourself want it. Because when you want it as much, when people notice that you are serious about it, they'll be able to encourage you and push you. But if they watch you and they realize, oh, what are you doing? Yeah. They won't. They'll just, they'll go along with it. Push yourself, encourage yourself. You have to be your biggest, like your number one cheerleader, and that's it.
Wow.
Now, I think I can take it up from there.
Yeah. Before Pastor Rex comes in, Helena, you've not tell us actually where you come from.
I'm from Ghana.
From Ghana,
I'm from the western part of Ghana called Axim.
Axim, okay, that's great.
I have to always remind people.
All right. Before we take in Pastor Rex, Brother Tayo has a question from the audience. Okay. And can we get it, Brother Tayo, or any encouragement that is coming from you? By the way, like I said, that's the CEO for Africa Connect. No. Business Network, yes.
All right.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Right. Like we normally do. She knows better.
Yeah.
When we say Africa, it's a network.
Connect. Okay.
As Africa, we say network.
Okay.
Why do we say that? So I wonder because we all need energy as a business person.
Yes.
When I say Africa, you say network. Africa.
Network.
Now let's do it the other way around. When I say Africa, you mention your own business. Africa. 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 Africa.
Holyfield LLC.
Africa. Africa.
Fashion design.
Exactly. That is it. I want to congratulate every one of you. And I want to let you know that we are in the same shoe together. I want to let you know that please don't put up the fight. I tell people that care to listen, America is not a country. America is a corporation. Look at it from the way the tax code is being written out. If you're a business person, you have a lot of advantage. And I tell people that cares to listen during the time they were giving the COVID reliefs. How much were they giving to families? How much did they give to corporations? That makes a lot of difference. I want to encourage you, please, don't stop. Keep going. Keep hustling. And keep scaling. You are all going to be there. And again, don't limit because of our people. Because our people, we have a lot to do. I thank God for programs like this. And that's what also the Africa is also doing. And we'll be having a lot of success stories. Don't be discouraged. And don't limit your market to our people alone. Don't limit your market to our people alone. So you can join a good example, you can join a lot of groups are there. I do that on Facebook page. Join hundreds. If you join 100 and you advertise every day, you only need few people that will say yes. Number is a number of large numbers. Yes. And when you do that, and also on your WhatsApp group too, if you join a lot of other groups like that, you advertise. Every day, I don't care. On my WhatsApp and everything, I advertise. Some people make it something that, no, I have to advertise. This is what I do. I have to show up. I have to let them know what I do. So once again, congratulations and see you all. And again, let me use this to do, I've told Pastor about this. I'll be launching my book and we're having a business seminar here in Columbus. And I'm also looking at, we're going to talk to Pastor about it. I'm going to have something big right here.
Amen.
Something big right here. We're all going to do this together. Because this is beyond me. We are going to do it together. Please, I'll be launching my book. I'm using this opportunity to invite every one of you. A charity on April 14th. Thank you very much and keep going, keep going, keep going. Afrik!
Network.
Thank you very much. God
Thank
bless
you so much. Thank you so much, Bratayo. Thank you so much for that encouragement, and we've all gotten it. We must see beyond our community. Most times, that is where the vision dies. By the time we begin to look at our own people to be the only customers that we can serve, the vision begin to die. And most of the biggest discouragement, having been an entrepreneur myself, comes from our own people, all right? They would downplay everything that you do because the Bible said it, that a king is never honored in his own family. So we must see beyond our people. The whole world is your play field, and you can spread your tent as much as you can. So, Pastor Rex, let's hear your challenges.
One of the challenges when it comes to forex trading, stock trading, and all of that is knowledge. A lot of people hear about it. First of all, people don't know that it is the largest market in the world. The daily turnover globally is $6 trillion a day. Per day. That's the amount of money that moves in that market per day. It affects every other market. Pastor is calculating.
Holy Ghost. That's the only thing I can say.
So it affects every other market in the world, from China to Australia to America to Europe to Africa. Now, so one of the biggest challenges is knowledge. Now, for the most part, over the decades, it has been the reserve of banks and big corporations. They were the only ones that were going into it. But now with technology and with the increase of knowledge, you have individuals, private individuals that are also going into the market. Now, people hear about it and some people want to try it out and they hear, oh, there's big money, people are making money, and they just jump in without adequate knowledge. And then they make the mistake and they lose money. They make mistakes and they lose money, and then they come and start giving a bad reputation and say, oh, you will lose all your money there. No, you lose money because, number one, you lack knowledge about how to navigate in that market. People also lose money because they are overly ambitious. So the finance markets will test your greed in you, your level of greed. So I tell people that I teach sometimes that the more you trade, the more you lose. That's what I learned from my mentor, and that's one of the things I tell people. The more you trade, the more you lose. So you gotta have a proven strategy. First of all, you need a mentor. You need a mentor. It's not something you just jump into.
Yep.
Number two, you need a strategy. The mentor will now teach you a proven strategy. Now, also, you will need indicators to understand what is happening. What is the direction of the market? As an individual, if you go in as an individual, you don't have the amount of money. Capital is a problem. So we've all heard about capital. So you don't have the amount of money to compete with the banks and the big corporations. So what you need to learn is, for example, I do day trading, and I'm cool with that. So what you need to learn is what direction is the market going? Now, for you to know what direction the market is going, you need to have a good strategy and good indicators. The indicators will show you the direction the market is going, and then you look for a good entry point, and then you enter and you flow with that current. You don't go against the current. So you go with the current, and then you make your profit and you exit. The more you trade, the more you lose. Now, people go into the market and they see, oh, there's money, and they become greedy and they become overly ambitious, and then they lose money by that. The market, nobody's there to give you money freely. You have to work for it. And also, the other thing is that people now do overcapitalization. That means you have a small capital and then you want to get big profits. And then so you expand your leverage beyond limits. When the trade goes against you,
You wipe you out.
So you have to manage that as well. So your psychology as well counts. Because now that's why you trade demo. You have a good mentor, you have a good strategy, good indicators. Now you do demo trading for a period. I did demo trading for 12 months, a whole year. So because what happens is, sometimes you could have studied, you see the pattern, the market is going this way, and then you enter, and a few minutes after you enter, the market starts going against you. You need to have a very solid psychology to stay on track, because it can be something just happened somewhere, somebody just pumped in some millions and moved the market for a little bit. But if eventually your indicators were going the right direction, the market will correct itself and go back to the right. If you don't have a good psychology, you will exit prematurely and you leave money on the table. So these are some of the things, knowledge is very, very critical in all of this. And also the second thing is greed. Greed is something that can destroy you in financial markets. I'm going to pause there.
Wow, that is awesome. Can we put it up together for every one of them? This is awesome. This is awesome. And I believe that our lives is not going to be the same again. All right, let me bring in Miss Helena to throw in our second question.
We forgot about Miss Victoria.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, Miss Victoria,
Not really.
please.
I was enjoying
The ride.
Yeah. So, what Mrs. Kwate spoke concerning the challenges, it covered the whole facet of the business represented here. But as a fashion designer, because when she was given the challenges, I just was like, oh, wow, I actually have nothing to say anymore. But what I want to say, based on this different profession itself, being the challenge I faced, being a fashion designer, I said photography. I'm also into photography.
Yes.
That's by the way. So the challenges I face as a fashion designer in this country, number one, is having to deal with customers' choice and desires, even when you yourself as a fashion designer knows that it's not really going to work for them. That has been my major challenge. We all have different body structures and proportions, and you will see somebody bringing a dress worn by Agbani Darego or a Miss World, Miss Universe, and you want it to be on you as a size 14, 16, 20 person, and you want me as a fashion designer to structure it into your own. So
Body
it's
size.
and they always want no for an answer. It's one of the greatest challenge I have been having with that, having to get my clients, people to accept that. So in regards like this, I have lost a lot of clients when it comes to that particular aspect. Another challenge as a fashion designer in this country I faced is material sourcing. It's highly challenging getting material here. It's very, very challenging. So it's kind of slow down time of delivery, and that is very, very hazardous for business. I wanted to say another challenge I had faced in this business here. It's one thing I come to realize in the location where I am, Columbus as a whole, it's like the whole community in Columbus always have the same event on the same day. Like, yes, when they are having events in Columbus, when Reverend Dr. Emanuelina is having his birthday party in Columbus, the whole Columbus want to attend at the same day, and the whole people that wants to attend that event wants to wear a new dress. So imagine 100 people coming to you as a one tailor, and they all want that 100 dresses for the same day. And they're all coming at the same time. How am I supposed to process that in a country where you can't get apprentices? So it's been heavily challenging to the point that sometimes I just, Pastor is here. I had given up many times. You know, there are times that I didn't even want to talk to Pastor about my challenge because he always encouraged me and keep me on it. It's been very challenging, and God has blessed me with him because he had kept me going. Because when I look at the challenges are more. Even the pricing, it's a big challenge for me. The pricing, I was afraid to talk about it, but the pricing should be my number one challenge because when you give me a dress and I say that this dress, I give you this charge, 150 to everybody, oh my God, 150, that's too much. And on every $150 dress I bill you, I may be spending like $90 to procure materials to use to do this job. And then imagine me getting like $80 remaining on the money for me on the amount I charge. And I will end up using 2 days to finish one dress, sometimes 3 days. Sometimes I'm like, I don't think I really want to do this. But on every job I deliver out of pain, once I see that satisfaction, that joy, everything else goes away. And that kept me going. That kept pushing me. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much. I think there is room for partnership. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
I think I was actually I thought you were gonna say sometime when you say 150, people will. It's not translate. People will convert it to the African currency.
Exactly. That's. Oh my God. God bless you.
Because of the audience.
God bless you.
Yep.
God bless you. Exactly. Yes. So to say, one of the challenges is making clothes for the people of your own descent.
And
it's a major challenge.
Yes.
That is clientele.
Yes. Clientele.
It's a
So
major issue.
we must see beyond our
because
people.
My fellow Nigerian people, with due respect to them all, has been my major challenge when it comes to pricing.
Yep.
Oh my God, $100 for this girl. This is 70,000 naira. How can I make clothes for? I'm like, I'm not gonna go to Nigeria to buy the material. I'm not gonna go to Nigeria to buy the zipper.
But it is really, really great because you know why? Sometimes packaging matters a lot. Yes. All right, I'm just going to shed a little bit light on that. You know, I myself, I'm a tailor. I sew, but not full time. But one of the things that I discover is that when people think that way and they try to compare currency and also even I have somebody tell me this shirt. You know, I can go to Walmart and get a shirt for $7. I say, okay, my brother, I want you to calm down. What I'm actually doing is I am producing something specially made for you, not a chain production. All right? If you want a chain production, you can go to Walmart, but I am a designer. I'm making something that only you puts on. So I think that language is going to go a long way to help them. All right, Miss Helena.
All right, I'm going to ask the next question, but before that, let me add on to what Jasmine said about educating yourself or, like, you know, when you want to start something.
Yep.
I think whenever we mention education, we all, like, especially for our community, one thing I've noticed is we think about school.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in school to educate yourself. There's something called University of YouTube.
Yes.
You can learn anything over there. Like YouTube got everything. You want to know how to make salt? Go there. They will teach you how to do it. Like there's every single thing on YouTube, and it's free.
Yep.
You know, you go there, listen to music, do whatever you want to do on there, do games and all that. Use that time to educate yourself. Ask questions. Africans, we do not know how to ask questions. You know, I don't know if it's pride or whatever it is, or like we're scared, or I don't know what the reason is. But no matter what, you don't have to sit in class to educate yourself. Go on YouTube, ask questions. If you see someone doing it, be humble. Ask the person. You know, and when someone asks you, if you are someone out there that is knowledgeable about something, when someone comes to you and asks you, please take that as an advantage and teach the person. And there's a blessing in that. I think Ms. Trace said that as well. So I wanted to add that part. And then my next question to everybody. I know we've all shared our stories about how we identified our talents or like how we got to know, like, you know, how we started our business. I know someone out there, like me, for instance, I have like multiple, like I'm a chain of talents. Like every day I have different things coming in my mind, like, So if that, and I know like there are a lot of people out there, young person or even an adult, or like an older person, say, okay, I have multiple things that I feel like I know how to do. How do I narrow it down and say, okay, this is the one that I want to actually focus on? Like, how do I know this is the one I can monetize? So anyone can take that. All of you don't have to answer it, but anyone who want to take that can go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I'll let my boss go first.
I was going to say that identifying a particular talent and passion that you have about certain things also goes along with prayer. And the reason I say that is because you might have a whole bunch of items listed that you like to do, but definitely there's one that pulls towards you the most. There's one particular one that you feel that even if I close my eyes, I can do this in a snap. So go for that one. And I say, when you go for that one, do not neglect the rest of them. Build them on the same level. Because that way, when you get to where the challenge is huge, you will have something to fall back on.
Okay,
That's
thank you.
You want to add
Go
on to
ahead.
it?
Yes, please. I want to add environmental and societal need. Where you find yourself, the environmental and societal need around there will spur up that particular one you should meet out to the public. When I came into this country, I discovered that there is a lot of, I found myself in Columbus and I discovered that there's a lot of Africans, African Americans, and there's a lot of event, every weekend event, and less tailors. I came in here as a laboratory analyst, a fashion designer, a photographer, a hair. I make hair too. But my major passion was the dressmaking. And I was motivated to go into, to pick that one and keep up with it because of the environment. The needs I saw in the people, in the environment. So that helped me to pick that one and keep to it. I had tried photography. Pastor, you had seen the camera in my house before. I think I've packed that camera down for the past 3-4 years. I have not, because the need is not there. Everybody has good phones to take pictures and edit and post. Yeah, so the societal, environmental needs.
Very powerful. Very powerful. Someone else?
Before the next person, do we have questions from the audience or anybody? Yes. Okay. All right. Anybody want to take on that question?
I wanted to say the same thing Victoria just said there. Thinking of turning your skill, look out for the needs. For minutes, put the money aspect of it. Strive to meet the need. Be a problem solver. Okay, so what problem do you want to solve? And when you identify it, then what skill do I have that matches this problem? And that can be the key to unlocking. Because when you have a solution to a problem that is in high demand, then you are in profit. As long as you can manage your skill and manage your time and manage people well, you're in profit. So something that people need, if you have the solution, they will seek you out and they will be willing to pay for it.
Great.
I think I will just say, I'll say I'm a jack of all trades, and I used to always think it was a bad thing because they used to always say jack of all trades is this, but then I actually heard the full quote: "Is jack of all trades is better than a master of none." It's better to have multiple talent than none. I will personally say, one thing for me, I will say I have great, amazing sisters around me. So we sat down and I listed everything I desire and everything I want to do. And one thing my sister asked me is, what is one thing that when you close your eyes, even when you're blind, you can still do it? And it will not be a problem for you. And I listed it. Have a conversation with yourself. Sit down. I'll say prayer is key. You can't do anything without prayer. For me, it was so much going on in my head. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do. Sometimes sit still and trust God. I know it sounds cliche, but it's the best way to go. Trust God in the season. If you have to sacrifice even a year to just pray, Helena will be my witness. For almost 6 months, I said, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to sit in this season and just trust God that God will lead me to the right path. It wasn't easy starting, and not because you sit and pray, so it's going to be easy. It will still not be easy, but then God is going to open doors that you will not see coming. So I'll say, trust God in that season. If you have many skills, trust God, and He will lead you to that one. And with that one, it will open doors for the other one to also come. And so I realized when I focused on the skincare, I realized, okay, as time went on, after a year, another door opened for me to go back to doing radio. Another door opened for me to go back to my show because I gave myself time to focus on that one. So because you're putting it aside doesn't mean you're not going to come back to it. You will, but just trust God that He will lead you. That's all I can say. Just trust God. Prayer is key for me. I'll play around a lot, but when it comes to prayer and trusting God, that's all you have. You can't do it by your strength. Because by your strength, you will fail flat out. You know.
With God, everything is what?
Possible.
Yeah. That's actually great. Anybody want to add anything, or we good on that question? Okay. So I have another question. So we've talked about challenges. What is some of the benefits? And I know money part is the benefit, but what are some of the good things or the benefits of being your own boss, or like doing what you enjoy, and turning that into money? I mean, money part, like I said, is one benefit, right? Okay, so anyone can take that first.
So I think one of the benefits is money.
No doubt about that.
So, for example, with the financial markets, you can make anything between 5 to 15% a month in profit. Okay, 5 to 15% in profit. And
Of
then
your investment.
yes, of your investment.
Okay.
And so, how much do you need to start out? You can start with $500, $1,000. Right. Now, but the more capital you have, the more percentage profits you have.
Yeah.
So some people look at people online who are making big money online, and they want to be like them. Well, you cannot be like them with a small capital like $500. So you need to have bigger capital. So how do you attract bigger capital? Now, there are companies that are willing to fund you if you can prove that you are profitable to them. And that is where mentoring comes in. A good mentor will show you to them and will show you how to prove yourself to them. They're going to look for certain things.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have some requirements. A good mentor will teach you how to meet the requirements. And you could be dealing with $100,000 $1,000. Okay. So you learn to use other people's money. So you leverage other people's money. Then you make a bigger profit, and then you split profit, and you're still good. All right. So another thing is freedom. You got to have control over your time. That is a big.
I love that one.
You got to have control over your time, and that's a big deal. That gives you time to do other things. There are certain projects you might want to work on. That you might want to take care of your family. You don't want to be out there just making money and neglecting your children. Neglecting your family responsibilities and things like that. So, but again, you have to pay bills. You have to get the kids educated. You have to get a good medical plan for them, things like that. So if you are able to turn your skills to and the thing, somebody said something and it was powerful when I heard that thing. He said salary is the bribe they give you to forget your dreams.
Yes. Say it again.
Woo!
Salary
Is the bribe they give you to forget your dreams.
Now,
That one, you need to be posted.
Very few people get financial freedom through salary.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to pay you to become rich except you're working for some very big multinational company and things like that. Or basically, they're just going to pay you to get by.
Yes.
Day by day, month by month. But when you tap into your natural gifts.
I think Jasmine is posting it. Are you posting that one? Got it. Yep.
When you tap into your natural gifts, I mean, the possibilities are huge. You get to become your own boss. You get to employ people. You become a blessing to other families. You become a blessing to the larger community. And then you have control control over your time. And so you can now use your time for the things that matter to you. Instead of using your time to be chasing money all the time.
That's great. Powerful. Someone else.
Let me add something real quick before anybody else adds. So he mentioned something really good about the money part. Like, you know, they get you, the salary will get you comfortable. You know, at least I know this is coming in every 2 weeks. You know, it will get you comfortable. Apart from it getting you comfortable, you are helping someone serve their
Dream.
life purpose. Like, you know, this is their purpose. in
Absolutely.
life. You are helping some. What is your own purpose? What are you
Yes.
doing to?
Yes.
You know, it's not everyone who was born to become a business owner.
Yeah.
But what is your purpose? Are
Yeah.
you just doing it to be comfortable?
Yeah.
So that's something that if you don't take anything out of this, think about it. What is your giving purpose on this life? What are you doing?
That is absolutely powerful, Miss Helena. And because a lot of people do not understand that when you are working for somebody, you are actually a tool in a production line. And God is not looking for people who are tools. God is looking for people who can stand and receive from Him and be a blessing to other people. So every time we use our gift and we stepped out to build something extraordinary, we actually put God at work, because that is where He wants to flow, so that He can, through you, be a blessing to many. Because Pastor said something. He said, you cannot be a blessing until you are blessed. And you know, working for somebody, we are not saying this thing to put anybody down that is working for somebody out there, but whatever you're doing, have it at the back of your mind that you can start something with what God has given to you. Thank you so much. Someone else?
I think I want to say something on what Pastor and Helena said. I remember when I was starting my business, I was like, oh, but I work full time. And one of my mentors said, we have 24 hours in the day. If you work for somebody for, let's just say, 12 hours in a day, you still have the remaining 12. Even if you're sleeping for 8 hours, you have 4 hours to work on your dreams. So just, like he kept emphasizing, invest in yourself. But back to what Helena's question earlier, what is the fulfillment? The money is amazing, yes. But Miss Victoria says something. She says, seeing how people feel after you provide the services. One thing about me is to see people happy. And so when I provide a service, if they're happy with it, I think it gives me a sense of joy. It gives me a sense of accomplishment. It gives me like, oh, okay, I did it. The money is good, don't get me wrong. But then if you're getting money but people are not fulfilled, what is the point? You know, but making sure they're fulfilled, they're happy with the service that you provided, that is one thing that keeps me going. Like, I keep going. Sometimes you want to give up, then you see a review online or somebody will text you, oh, the skincare smells good. You're like, oh, okay, let's keep going. Let's go. Let's do this again. Okay, let's try tomorrow. But keep pushing. I feel like you will get there. Money is great, but I think in the first year, 2 years, you might not get the money that much. Depending what business you have, I don't know. But if you focus on the money part too much, trust me, you will be disappointed. You will really be disappointed sometimes. I'm not saying everybody. Every business is different.
Yes.
But for mine, cause it was like I was selling and putting it back in the business. I was selling and putting it back in the business. So I wasn't making them. I'm still not there yet. I'm still in the growth. But I would say invest in yourself. And having a full-time job is great. While you have it, make sure you're not just working just to pay bills. Make sure the money you're getting from your 9 to 5, you are using it on your, you know, your purpose, investing it on your purpose, in your purpose as well. That's all I can say on that.
That's powerful. That's awesome.
If money is the reason why you're going into that business, just don't start.
Exactly.
Like, talent is not about money. It's something that you can do without even getting paid. That's how I always say. So if your motivation is money, you're going to quit. That's all I can say.
Exactly.
In the middle, like somewhere.
Exactly. And as Ms. Kwate just said, you know, when she was talking about passion, you know, that is the fuel that keeps everyone going. And the vision of what you saw before you started this whole thing, it keeps you going also.
I also add to it that legacy is important.
Wow.
When it comes to small businesses, I do not see those who are in or engaging in small businesses as for their own good or for their own to their own advantage. I see it that they are paving a way for the next generation or for either a family member or for mentors. Because it takes a lot to go into starting a small business. It takes time. It takes it takes away so much from you. If you have a family as probably big as I have, okay, my husband has a business on his own, and he's also an associate pastor with one of the churches. He is a very busy guy, and I am also busy. If you do not take time, you would outsource your children.
Yes.
And so it takes strategy, it takes planning, it takes communication. It would take a lot from you if you want to be a small business. If you're starting a small business and you are single, hey, go for it, because that is that
time.
time. You have the time on your hands to do a lot. And then by the time probably you get married and have children, you might have even employees doing the work for you that you have already started. So do not see it as, I always say that lazy people cannot be entrepreneurs,
Yes.
because you have to.
Someone need to post that one.
Just as our colleagues were saying that you have to invest in yourself. You actually have to invest in your life. It's not just yourself, because when I say life, it comprises of the family, the immediate family that you are with. It's taking your decision is going to affect each and every one around you. It is affecting your husband one way or the other, because it's going to take time. The time that we used to have, we are cutting it short for something else. The time that I used to have for my kids, I am reducing those hours in order to do something for them. And plus, when you are able to do this, your children does not see you just as a hardworking mom. They see you as a mentor. They talk about you to their peers. And not because you don't have time for them, but it's because of the kind of mother that you are. And it becomes a yardstick for them, because that is what they have seen in the home. And so they also make sure that they walk that walk. And have you realized that most of the entrepreneurs, their children, one way or the other, was some of them, most of them, journey the same way.
Absolutely.
And it's because of the path that you are making. So it is not just about you. It is the legacy that you're leaving. And so make sure that you are putting yourself and your whole self into it. I have seen entrepreneurs that their leg is on left, their head is in right, and they are not fully in because they are not sure. If you are not in, you are not in. If you are in, please go full force for it. Because there are people around you that are looking at you to be able to see what you do, to encourage them do what God has also placed on their heart to fulfill.
That was great. That was really great. Anyone want to add onto that?
I also want to add what Ms. Trish said before we continue. Shout out to the mothers who do their thing. No, Ms. Trish highlighted something. So to all the mothers that, because I know all the women on here, beside myself, are mothers and wives. So shout out to you guys, because you guys waking up and doing it. We are looking at you guys. So shout out to you all, because it's a lot. Ms. Trish has kids. Helena has a crazy daughter. But you guys wake up and do
The soldier.
So
Woo, woo, woo.
we
Where is she?
appreciate you guys. We really do. We don't tell you, but we do appreciate you all.
And the husband too.
And yes, I'm so sorry, but the husbands as well. Yeah, but shout out to you guys.
Okay, that's amazing. Anyone want to add anything before we move on to the next questions?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So I do have another question, and if you guys want to say anything or ask questions too, you guys can also do that. So I know it sounds like whenever we're talking about businesses and people who have already started, when we talk or like when we speak about it, it sounds very like simple, and it sounds very like, oh, it's oh yeah, I can just go ahead and start it. But my question to you guys is, someone might be sitting there, because I remember for me, my profession, I went to school for social work, but I specialize in mental health and do counseling, therapy for people and all that. But I also know that being a social worker, I'm very resourceful. Like, I'm able to like connect people to resource and all that kind of stuff. And before I started this organization, AfriConnect, I was a little bit afraid. I'm like, because our people, their mouth can even kill you. You know what I mean? And I was trying to do it for the community, like the African community, because I felt like we are the people that don't ask questions. Oh, there are so many resources that we don't even know about. And I think I was telling Ms. Trace the other time that even when I feel like I'm helping them, they are questioning me like, are you sure this resource is real? Are you sure, like, it's not, because I don't charge anybody. Like, when I help them to pay their rent, are you sure they're not going to charge me later on for this rent? I'm like, no. And someone out there might be like, they have great idea. They know their skills. Like, they know that I can do this, but they're afraid. There are some young person out there who is like so afraid, or someone feel like, oh, I'm too old. The community know me already. Or like, if I start, they're gonna laugh at me. Like, that spirit of being afraid. How like, what will you tell that person who has all the talent, have the capital, or like got all the resources, but they just afraid to start, whether they are young or old? What will you guys tell them?
Just do it. Oh, sorry.
Just do it. Do it. Do it in spite of the fear.
Yes.
Because the rewards will pay off at the end of the day. So fear it comes to everybody. What if I make a mistake? Somebody said there's a fear of failure, but there's also the fear of success.
Yeah.
There are people who are also scared of the responsibilities that will come with success, and they're not ready for it. So, but you see, if it is something, if it's a natural talent, divinely placed in you to benefit other people, it will always hit at your conscience if you do nothing about it. You're going to lose sleep over it. You will lose appetite.
Yeah.
You will lose joy until you do it. So the earlier you start, the better. So in spite of the fear, do it in spite of the fear. And if you make a mistake, learn the lesson and get up on your feet again and try again.
So do it. Just do it.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Well, he took it. Just do it. But then, even if you start and you fail, at least you started.
You tried.
At least you tried. And in everything that we do, waking up and even walking, there are lessons that we need to learn. Sometimes maybe you need to actually start that business for it to fail, for you to learn in order for you to succeed. So I'll say, yes, just get up and do it. Don't worry about where the money will come from. Don't worry about anything. Just get up. Even starting a business plan alone, you have done something. Getting up and even writing it down, you have started something. So just do it. If you fail, learn from it and bounce back. Don't let the failure, I think there's a statement, they say, fall down 7 times, rise up 7 times. Fail, get up, fail again, get up, fail again. Because before, let's use people like KFC. Before he could make it, I think he was like 70-something before he made it. Oprah Winfrey was, let's use these people. They've all had to fail in something, but they still decide. Imagine if Jeff Bezos decided not to, keep pushing. There'll be no Amazon. I enjoy free 2-day delivery and overnight delivery, okay? Right now, that's my life, But imagine if all of these people decided not to, because I'm telling you, they failed certain times. If you read Jeff Bezos' books, he said he failed several times, but he kept pushing. So fail, keep going, fail, and keep going. Don't let fear stop you, please.
Awesome. Fail and pick up yourself and keep moving.
I want to add that fear is a spirit. And you can either invite the spirit or overcome that spirit. And in order for you to overcome something, it is work. I always tell my kids that if you are afraid to take a step, you will stand where you are. So if you want to prove that you are fearless, then you have to go beyond and above. And so if somebody is out there thinking that I am afraid, it is probably because of what you have seen and what you have heard, but it's not what you have experienced. And so experience it and overcome that with that fear that you have.
One more thing I'll add is to get close to people who are leading the way. when you get close to them, most of them are honest enough, and they can be able to show you how they're doing it in spite of, the challenges, in spite of the circumstances, and then you get inspired through that. So also identify somebody who is leading the way and get close to them. Now with technology, you don't need to be close to the person. You can follow the person from a distance. You can follow the person online and learn from their stories, and that will help you to stay inspired.
So networking, very important, networking. Yep. Miss Victoria.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything.
And I want to backtrack a little bit to what our sister Victoria said when she said that there's challenges when it comes to pricing and stuff like that in the business. But one thing that our society always forget is the person that you are consulting to provide services for you is using a skill and a talent. And the skill and talent you don't have, they are putting it into work for you. And so, yes, it will cost you more for the skill and the gift that the person have that you want. Because literally, you want to hold what they have in your hand, but you don't have value for it. If every one of us places value on every little thing that we do, if you come to me to decor an event, my end goal is to make you happy. My end goal is that the community that you are inviting to that location leave there with testimonies on their lips. And so if you do not want to pay for that service, then you are not going to get that service. So I think it's an educational thing that we have to continually do for our community and for the people around us. Some people do not understand some of these things. And so when we are talking to them, it is also our duty to also explain some of these things. Most of the time, we brush it off because, it's normal. No, it's not. So the more we educate them on what we have taken upon ourselves as services for them, they would understand the value in that services for them.
Yeah, I go through that a lot, and most of my clients term it complainant. I hear most comments outside there, Victoria complains too much, This thing you said now, God bless you, ma, for helping me. This skill thing, when a client brings a job, it's mentally demanding. Do you know that when you bring a dress style that I have never made before, I don't sleep. Even when I fall asleep in the night, I see myself calculating, dreaming how to calculate. So I get sleepless night. I get nightmares because in my mind, before I go to bed, I'll start calculating, pattern drafting it in my head. So to save myself, I decided to adopt this another way of helping my mental stress by asking people beforehand. When you call me for a dress, the first thing I ask you, send me the picture of the style. If you call me on Monday and you say you'll be coming on Friday, before you call, I will tell you, send me the picture of the style so I can do a mental cutting of the dress. But I don't even understand why people that are not doing this kind of thing don't see it that way and feel for me, because I just see that sometimes I just get so discouraged. I'm like, I am spitefully used. I call it spitefully used.
I think the reason for that is when you are good at what you do, people think it is easy to do it.
Exactly.
And I wanna come in because
So I don't know how we can get this across to them where
Okay,
it will not be
I have
termed that
this
person is
information.
complaining.
I have this information that I just want to share, and I want to share this because of Sister Victoria. Because having been a tailor, I stopped sewing because of some of what you are just talking about.
Yes, sir.
Not only that, but for the fact that the pastoral demand was very,
Yes.
very high. But I just googled this. What is the cost of a designed cloth? While you were talking, I decided because Google doesn't lie.
I know.
I'm not saying we should believe everything that is out there, but this is what it says. It said, depending on whom you choose to work alongside, starting a clothing line could cost anyone between 500 to 10,000. Starting a design clothing should cost anyone between $500 to $10,000. That means for me to design a clothes for you, my pricing with you should begin from $500. The reason why I decided to Google this is because, one, Michelle Obama does not wear things that are produced on chain line. When I say chain line, we all know what I'm talking about. And now, you are just sharing part of the experience that one goes through. And I know it also goes along with Ms. Kwate decorating, because you walk into a hall, nothing is there.
Exactly.
You have to create a mental picture of what you want to do. And that time that you are creating those things in your mind, even before you produce it physically, it's only God that can put such thing inside somebody.
Yes.
And if people don't value that, then move to the other community. And that is why I said we must see beyond our community to be able to, because, having deal with, a lot of our African descent, they only value you when you've moved past their limit. They actually give you a limit. By this time, you will fold up. By the time they see that by that time you didn't fold up, and they are seeing testimony from people that are different from them, you see them coming. And that time when they come, they don't negotiate. Anything you say, oh yes, oh yes. So we must see beyond that. And before, Miss Helena, bring in our last question tonight, one of the things I just want to share is that, you see, money is liquid. And I've said this thing many times. Even as we are talking, it's moving. But it's only moving into the hands of people who are solving problem. The kind of problem you solve determines the kind of money you make. That means money responds to solution. Unfortunately, our churches today have preached for so long that you can pray yourself into being wealthy. Prayer doesn't work with money. I preach it every day. Money responds to solution. What's the CEO of Amazon? What's the name?
Jeff Bezos.
I bet you some of us will pray more than him. But he has a solution to the table, and money is responding to that. So as entrepreneurs and as people who are working on our gift, we must pay very close attention to that. Finding a problem and discovering a solution to it is translated to money. Period. And that is very important that we drive that home.
And let me add something a little to what Ms. Victoria was saying. I think we were all laughing, but it really breaks my heart when I see that in our community. And these are the same people in our community who complain about going to the African fashion designer to sew clothes, but will go buy Gucci. Or go buy,
Oh, yes.
what is this
Oh,
designers?
yes. Something broke my heart
All
so
these
much
designers
last week.
out there, that's not even pretty. They will go buy it because of the name, the brand, and all that.
Exactly.
But it's like if you African, like it stressed me, and I always connect that to slave trade. I mean slave. Like yeah, like back then. And since it's Black History Month, I can relate that to it. It's like we didn't even know what we had. So they came and they took it and they gave us common mirror, common salt, all that kind of stuff, just to, take, like we didn't even know as we had gold, we had diamonds, we had all these stuff. But because we didn't value our own stuff,
Exactly.
they were able to take it from us and give us something
Exactly.
cheap that didn't even,
Exactly.
like the price you can't even compare.
They gave us
You know?
more.
So it's like the same African person that will complain about their brother or their sister's business will go somewhere else to someone that don't look like them and purchase it without even saying a word. And that even, it all cuts across every business, even as a nonprofit. The people, they will go to a different nonprofit organization and schedule an appointment, and they will be there on time. And, there's no challenge, there's nothing. But you African, because they know you look like them, you can relate to them. If you speak their language itself, it's even worse. And, they will come to you, and it's like, everything you are doing, they're questioning you. And I'm not even charging you. So, them, it's not even about the money sometimes. It's like you, the person doing it. The fact that you are African, the fact that
Exactly.
you are my own people, like there's nothing better that can come out of you, But when I see the white man that, quote unquote, for the lack of words, I might even be more knowledgeable than this white person you are looking at, but because they are that, they value them more, and they can sell them paper towel for $3,000, and they will take it. Oh, I bought it from here. But your own people. If you look at the Chinese, they invest in their own. You go to a Chinese restaurant, you don't, or any of their businesses, they hire their people. They work for them. They build each other. Indians, Jewish, everybody but us. So if we don't even learn anything in this Black History Month, we need to really value our own. Because nobody will come out there because we say, oh, these people they don't respect us, because we don't respect ourselves. We don't value ourselves. We don't value what we have. Our fabrics are rich and very cultured and beautiful. But if the way some of the fashion designers, the creators want to put stuff out there, our own people are just pulling them down like this. We won't even get up there. You know what I mean? But other people are doing it. What we're not doing is we call it pull me down syndrome. And just not respecting each other because, oh, he's African, oh, she's African. Why are you charging this extra? Why are you doing this? Oh, you're not charging? Are you sure you are credible? Excuse me to say, all that nonsense really needs to stop. Really. If you watch me out there and you have that syndrome in you, because you can't build, or you can't go up, or you can't become successful by doing that. We need to change that mindset and change it so that it can change everything about us, pretty much, to become the better version of ourselves. Sorry if I was talking too much, guys. All right. Oh, there's a question? Okay.
Not really a question, but just to throw a little light on some of the things that I've been hearing from back there, and I didn't want to distract the whole communication. We spoke something about being how to choose if you are kind of multi-talented, and I come from those family. I think I have the worst syndrome. I'm not just good at a lot of things. I am extremely good at a lot of things. I'm not saying that to brag, but I remember sometime in 2017, was it 2017 or 2016, 2017? Man, I came to Pastor, I was like, Pastor, I think this is it. I need to make a decision. I was the most confused person. I was I had to list down everything that I was good at. The list was too long. So, and I started, okay, let me start doing the method of elimination. It was still long again. And and all these things, I love doing them. I love doing the music, I love it. Designing, I love it. All of them, and I'm good at all these things. So making a choice in it was difficult. So I said, okay, you know what? I am going to try, and then if you're watching online, if you are in this position, you are not alone. Just the one solution that I came to do was, I'm going to try all of them. That is the best solution. Try them. Don't just sit down and map out. No. Pick one, try it, and find out your answer from it.
If it works, close it down. Try something else. That's the only way you can actually know deep down which one works best for you. And then we mentioned something else about benefits. Someone says time. I think you are the one that said time is not one of them. The benefits of being an entrepreneur. That you got time is one of them. To be honest with you, time is not one of them. I'm not gonna lie to you. I by God's grace, I'm trying to like build up a company. I can tell you how many hours of lack of sleep that I'm losing. I thought I was picking up weight, man of God. That was false weight. The thing has dropped down now, and I've lost a lot of weight because I don't sleep. So if you think, okay, I'm working 8 hours a day, and sorry. No, if you think you're working 8 hours a day, oh, I want to start my own business so I can have my own time, that's not going to work. That's my point now. It's not going to work because actually when you start your own business,
that time when you have
When
actually
it's
established.
when you are
It gets to a
exactly
level
until
where
you
it
get
can
to that
run-
level.
It can run autonomous.
Even when you get to that level, tell me
and
now
then
that
you get control over your time.
tell me right now if Jeff Bezos is on a vacation, and
He be
for
thinking,
example,
yeah.
one server of Alexa falls down, and they call him that Alexa is not functioning.
They're
That
not gonna call
vacation.
him. He's too
No
big.
matter where he is, he will be worried because this is your baby. This is your child. Like right now, if you go on vacation as an employee somewhere, I took 3 days vacation. I completely forgot about my job. Like I did not thought about it until it was like, oh, I'm going to work this evening. That was when I remembered that I did not, my badge, I have to fix my badge. I have to, you cannot do that when you're running a business. So if you're not ready for that in the beginning, don't start a business.
Yeah.
And then-
There is a saying that you quit your 9-to-5 job to work for yourself 24 hours.
Exactly.
Like Ms. Victoria was saying, and Ms. Trey said that as well. Like just thinking about it. Sometimes someone will call me for
Exactly.
AfriConnect. Oh, I need rental assistance. I'm like, okay, now I need to go find the resources for them. Right. And like I can't even sleep. I'm thinking about it.
Exactly.
Like, okay, where like So if you're not ready to quit your 9-to-5 and work for yourself 24 hours, please don't.
Exactly. Working for yourself is 24 hours.
It's 24. No
And
break.
second to the last before I go, someone says do not go into, we're talking about like passion. You said do not go into a business for money, go into because you actually,
I said that.
that is actually another dangerous move. Let me tell you why I
it's
think
not
so.
true?
Passion is good. Passion is good. Trust me, I did designing because I love doing it. But you have to consider money if you want to stay in business.
Of course.
There's a difference between loving to do something.
I think you didn't understand. We're not saying that.
Don't
you
let
have
that
to
be
go
your
for money.
primary
Don't
focus.
let that be the
Of course, the
focus.
bills got to be paid.
No, you are right. I got what you're saying. The reason why I threw this in is a lot of people completely believe that because I love this name, keep doing it, and they completely ignore the money part of it. Those are the people I'm
There are
talking
people
about.
like that?
Yeah, there are people like that. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Yeah. They will,
Santa.
for example, they are selling a pair of shoes. Or they do shoes. Oh, don't worry, I'll do it for you for free because I love doing it. And you will not stay long in business for those kind of people. There are people like that. And then lastly, before I leave, there's a last thing here that says dealing with cheap customers. I think people that bother you a lot.
Exactly.
There's no easy way to say this. My mom does pretty much what you are doing right now, like making clothes. She's a fashion designer and other stuff. Of course, I grew up with my mom. And I can tell you, from my childhood to the time that I left Nigeria to the United States, I constantly see her measuring people, all kinds of styles. She's drawing it with pencil and paper. She has all kinds of catalog. I know how to measure. And now, because of her, I know what waist, hip, all of them, I can measure you. And to sit down and create these ideas. My mom also does decoration as well. I know someone mentioned decoration, right? She does that as well. Walking into an empty hall and sitting down like this, okay, I will have to use this color here. I have to make this. It's not easy to create that thing. I can't tell you, me, from technical background, from technical aspect, I can't tell you how many times I'll stare at a blank sheet of that blinking dot for you to write the first code. You don't even know where to begin from. Creating these ideas are not easy. Do not and I repeat, do not put yourself in a box whereby you are, look, the reason why you are doing this in the first place is to be able to survive and pay your bills.
Yes, yes.
If you look at your worth and you tell somebody this phone or this thing costs, or this particular product or service is going to cost $500 or $100, ask yourself, okay, does this really worth $100? You have to believe in what you are selling.
Exactly.
You have to believe in your price. If you are withering in your price, someone will find a loophole. Last time we say, oh, can you do it for $80? It is $100 or you go.
Be firm.
Don't, if you don't, and you agree at $70, somebody, they'll tell somebody it is $60. Before you know what has happened, your price has come down, and you find yourself doing a job.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
You find yourself doing a job that's worth a certain amount of money for a very low price, and then on top of that, those are the customers that will give you sleepless nights.
Exactly.
Make one mistake on that thing.
Oh, yes.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
you will
yes.
not sleep. It's tight on my leg.
Yes.
I cannot walk very well.
Yes. Yes. You're right.
People who pay more money do not give more
Do not
problems.
give- very, very true.
Let me have your mic.
Very true. Thank you very much
I
for
like
that.
that microphone. All right. Well, go ahead.
Okay, so we getting to the point. I'm really enjoying this.
Yes.
Like, even though, like, we have a virtual audience, but I'm really enjoying this. I don't know about
I
you
told
guys.
you.
I want to ask individual questions, and then we'll wrap it up. I went blank. Sorry. Pregnancy mind, y'all. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Before you put your questions together, our brother said something in the beginning when he said that if you are a multi-tax person or does things, you have different things that you could do. And when he was talking, what I derived from that was that his pattern of work is linked together. When you are in such a situation, you are actually at an advantage because you could establish a company where you can do everything at the same time. It is different when you are gifted with, let's say, being a motivational speaker, and you are also gifted in probably, what is another thing? Probably IT. Those are two different worlds. And so you have to make that decision. But if it is linked together, take advantage of it and run with it.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. Like a motivational speaker and a pastor who works together.
Yep.
Also, you can teach somebody else some of your skills. Okay, so some of the less dominant skills, or some of the ones you don't, that are not relevant to that time or season, you can pass it on to somebody else and help somebody else to build on that.
And even teaching too can become a job. Whilst teaching someone the skills, that's a whole class. People that like media, like those who do like editing and all that kind of stuff. Do you know how much they charge people to just get on that webinar that you don't even get to talk to this teacher? It's a lot of money. So even that, I always say sharing your ideas, it benefits you. If you share your ideas or something that you are good at, it doesn't mean someone is going to take away something from you. You have it. You are the original. No matter how many copies they make, you are still the original, mastermind about that. So don't be too scared of, if I teach this better, they're going to become better than me. That's fine. That means you're a good teacher. You know what I mean? So don't be too scared to do that. Okay. I think my question for Ms. Trish, and then I will ask you guys all your last words. For someone who have listened to us, and they say, okay, I'm very convinced, I feel like I'm confident, I want to start. What is the next step? How should they start? What is the next step to start a business?
So just like our brother said, identify a mentor. Once you are able to identify that mentor, go to that mentor. And there are so many resources online that has mentorships opportunities for you. And one that I would strongly recommend is called The Score. TheScore.com is worldwide worldwide mentorship, and it's
Score.
not Score.
Can you spell it for us, please?
SCORE.com. SCORE.
SCORE.com.
Yes. So SCORE is a mentorship. It comprises of all the entrepreneurs, business-minded people that have literally retired and wants to give back to the community. And so they come together, and if you apply, depending on your area of interest, they're going to reach out. Sometimes you get like 3 or 4 people reaching out to you and saying that, hey, what can I do? They engage in a conversation with you, and then they will schedule you. My SCORE mentor meets me every month.
For free?
For free.
We're going there.
They are not paying you, and they direct you to resources. Either that is their job, that is what they are doing. They will, even in your own city, the resources that are there, they would find it and send you those resources and act and make sure you're following up on those as well. I have benefited so much from my SCORE mentor. She is located in Chicago, but I mean, everything she hears, she's sending them my way.
Wow.
Like every day. And
Dedicated to see you succeed.
I am who I am today
Because of that.
because of her. Because she will call sometimes out of the blue and say, how are things going? I know we don't have a meeting yet, but hey, I just wanted to check on you and see how things are going. Is everything okay? When I was trying to even get a place, like a storage place and stuff, she did most of the work for me.
Wow.
Literally. And I'm like, wow, I am just blessed to have somebody like that. And it's not just her. With my staffing agency, I also have a SCORE mentor. So I have 3 mentors in the SCORE program in different areas. And all of them on the same level provide information, and I just feel that I'm just blessed. So please, go to SCORE. If you need a mentorship, they are there to help. These are people that have dedicated their time just to help somebody succeed, because they have been there before. They have the one that actually mentors me in my staffing agency was the father of this company. There's this company, I think there's branches here in Columbus. It's it's a professional staffing agency. And he doesn't work with the son that is taking over now, but he decides to mentor people. Wow. And so it's just amazing how people, and if you are also in a position where you also want to mentor people, SCORE is open for you to also go there.
Thank you for sharing, because
Great resources.
our people
tonight.
don't share resources like that. So thank you. Thank you for sharing. All right. Anybody got any resources for us? Everybody get on SCORE. Abuse it. Get on there. Because I know I'm going on there. All right. That's amazing. Thank you. Yes.
Yes. Go ahead, we're hearing. Online, okay. That's my lovely wife. She has a speaking engagement.
Driving, so I could not. I wanted to type the question, but I was driving, so I could not.
We're glad you're here.
I rushed. I said, let me come before they go. So my question is, when you, let's say you decided to do a business, and you did the first business, it didn't work out well the way you wanted, and actually it didn't go well, and you really want to do it, but you have this voice. Anytime it didn't go on well, this voice will kind of scream at you. You don't say stuff that will not encourage you to go further.
That's one. And you want to do a business, but you are that kind of person that is, Miracle was talking something about it, that is so compassionate that even when people come by or people come to you to get this service or buy something, some people will beg and beg and beg and beg, and you are so compassionate, you don't just want them not to have whatever it is. How do you deal with such attitude, or let me say, how do you deal with such thing that is part of you, but you want to do business and you are compassionate, and just like what my sister was saying here, Sister Victoria, that she goes through a lot with people coming to sew their dresses. I think on her own side, that's my question. I think on Sister Victoria's own side, you don't need to put sentiments when it comes to your business. No sooner you are sentimental with your clients, it's a problem. It's business, it's business. If I say you have to pay $80, you have to pay $80. If you don't want to pay it, then go. As long as you believe in yourself, what you do, don't think that you've lost that $80. Somebody will definitely come. Maybe we even pay more than $80. So I think on her own side is sentiment. She's too compassionate. So that's my question.
I think, Ms. Flores, you have actually answered your own
Yeah,
question.
you answered the second question. Your second
All
question,
right.
I think you answered it.
You've answered it, but can anybody throw more light on
You want to take that?
how do you manage when you find it difficult to actually monetize what you're doing, and people around you, see that you are that kind of soft person and they want to take advantage of it?
I think that is the answer she
gave. Yeah, she
Yeah,
answered her own
Stick
question.
to it.
But the first one I want to answer is the business. If you start a business and you were not successful, but it's something that you want to keep doing, but she said that, but you don't. It's fear.
You
So-
hear this voice.
Exactly, because exactly, and
I was going to speak on that.
they discourage you, and I think we spoke
Yeah,
about
agent of discouragement.
Yes.
and
Throw the whole human being away.
I think there are people that do not see progress in people.
No matter
There are
what.
people that always have standards for people when they see them. And plus, they judge them even ahead of time before they even talk to them. And so, people like that, as long as you are able to identify them, I'll say walk past them. Ignore them. Then don't hear them. And the reason I say don't hear them, because the more they keep saying that to you, the more
more
you
they
also you
dampen.
give attention to them. Because whatever they are saying, okay, in turn affects you, because you also tend to think about what they are saying. So if I am blocking you from this ear and I'm not listening to what you're doing, and I'm more focused on what I am doing,
To produce results.
exactly, you realize that they themselves will turn around, come back and encourage you on that end, because they have seen the progress that you are doing. And that's human nature. That's human nature. And plus, our community does not support
Toxic.
growth. They always want
They
to
rejoice
see
when you fail.
where
Exactly.
they are.
to
Somebody
be
might
them
be
or
very
nobody.
educative, okay? Either the person is looking down upon you, or making sure that you do not even get an inch of education. And that is us. It is our background. It is the things that where we come from. It's hard. I'll tell you, it's hard. So, but at least now, we are very open-minded to this world and into this part of the world that we are in.
And so I'll say, take advantage where you can take advantage, ignore the things that you can ignore, and move and run with what your ideas are.
That was really great. I want to add on to it, and I'm speaking as a therapist. Our mind, psychologically, we have two things called the positive talk, and the positive self-talk and negative self-talk. And that can come from outside or within, from you. You know what I mean? So that person that comes and say, or like even sometimes it doesn't even have to be an outside person. You yourself, oh, I feel this. I'm good for nothing. Like, that negative self-talk. Think about it this way, and let me make it very relatable. In this life, right, let's look at flowers. Like if you plant 2 flowers in different garden, and you water one every day, and you don't water the other one, which one grows and which one dies? The one you water grows, and the one that you do not, it dies. So whatever you feed yourself with, it becomes you. So if you let negativity stay with you, someone is throwing negative to you, oh, you go for nothing, or even yourself, sabotaging yourself and saying all that kind of things to yourself, that becomes you. You become a negative, and you can see that a lot of that around us. Some people are just negative human beings because they have allowed it. It's not from the devil. It's not from anybody. It's yourself. You allowed yourself to be so. You tell yourself, I'm good for nothing. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I failed. I can't. You feeding that into your spirit. You feed that into your mind, and it becomes you. The next thing you know, like, I wasn't like this. How did I become this negative person? But if that negativity comes, and you, like I always tell people, name that negative. Maybe call the negative Lucifer or like Lucy. When Lucy comes in, say, oh, you're not invited. Talk to yourself. Like, let Lucy know that they don't have a place here. And invite the positive side of you. When that positivity comes, invite it. Let it sit. If you have to talk to yourself and remind, like, let a negative comes in. Like, it's work. Everything is work in this life. And the mind is trained that way. You have to constantly train it on what you want to accept in there or not. If you just accept anything, you'll be confused. If you accept, because negative is easy to stick. But if you push on it, and thank God we know God. If you tell God, I'm weak, but I need you to make me strong so that I can uninvite my negative side, trust me, He will surprise you.
I'm so blessed because the way you come in, Miss Jasmine, let me just come in. You see, it all has to do. I love the psychological aspect of it because it speaks deep about energy. You understand the kind of energy that you allow to dwell with you. You see, one thing that I always tell people, and anyone that knows me, can tell, I'm not afraid to fail. A lot of people are afraid to fail. But failure is actually part of growth. Because every time you fail on something, you learn from that experience. And from that point, you can be able to do better, And anyone that has not failed in life, put them in any leadership position, they cannot handle it. We saw that past, I don't want to mention them, in this country. But when somebody has failed before, you have a story to tell. And that story is what matters a lot. So it helps you to be able to build the mental capacity to run again. If I have failed in 100-meter race before, and then I am in another competition with some people who have not failed, my spirit and theirs is not the same. Because for me, I knew where I failed.
You have an experience.
So now I am running based on experience. And you see me come with a different spirit. Go ahead, Miss Jasmine.
What I was going to say to that, she said people feeding you negativity when you want to do something. One thing I have realized also, people project their fears on you. Because they cannot do something, they decide to, stop you from doing it. I'm a very vocal person, right? And one of the things is most African women are not vocal. And when I started being vocal, so many people around me, oh, a woman does not speak. A woman should not be heard. A woman this, a woman that. I got to the point that I realized I was taking it all in. So for a while, when something is bothering me, I won't even say it. Even when, like, Helena will always be like, Jasmine, say no. Jasmine say no. There'll be moments that I'm even tired. I will still go do it. There'll be moments I don't want to do it, but I'll just still do it just to please people. I realize that I've allowed people to project their own fears on me. People are going to bring you down when you want to start a business because they also want to start that business, but they don't have the boldness that you have. They want to speak like me. They want to speak. They want to be vocal, but they don't have the boldness to speak. I remember when I said I wanted to start doing radio and acting, somebody was like, oh, you have to be skinny to do it. Or you have to be, literally. I had moments that literally somebody sent me liposuction and all of that because they were like, oh, you have to look like this to do. And this is coming from a person who, let's say, not to, blow my own horn, I look better. But anyways, but they were projecting it because they couldn't do it. That's human behavior. They will only give you what they wish they can do. And one thing my grandfather used to always teach me, he said, selective hearing. Yep. One thing about me, I will listen to your advice, but I'm going to pick what will work for me. I select and I choose. When it comes to, I'll be talking to you, looking at you, but I'm not listening when I realize that what you are telling me is not going to benefit me. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you also have to choose selective hearing. The more people are saying, oh, you can't do it, block them out. Put a filter on your ear. Because if you don't do that, especially in the African community that we are in, if you don't block your ears, you will not do anything. You will fall in the whole line. People be like, oh, people told me, go to nursing school, go do this. And I said, this is not for me. I went to nursing school. I signed up, took the test. I was telling Helene, I just finished paying what I started off, and I didn't even finish. Because everybody said, oh, Jasmine, you're so nice, go do nursing. But deep down, I knew I couldn't do it. But because I was allowing them, I didn't block them out. So I went and did it. But that was not what God wanted for me. The only person to listen to, and I can say this, is God. Is God. Because he's the only person that knows, your purpose. Only he knows tomorrow. Block people out and don't allow people to feed, into your life. And that's it.
Great.
All right. I was going to ask individual questions, but I guess our time is it's almost 6. So I will just take last words from each person. What is your advice for? It could be anything. If you want to give us more resources, fine. If you want to give advice, because I'm all about resources. What advice do you have for that person, that young person or that individual out there, especially those who think they are too old to start? What advice do you have for any person out there who is trying to start their own business? Any advice? Anyone can start. It is well.
First Lady helped me also in her observation and comment she made. And I want to use that to advise anyone out there that want to do business, self-business, sole proprietorship. If you want to go into this thing, I think one thing that has affected me so far is that I turned all my clients became my friend. So that is affecting me so much. You don't get me wrong. They can be your enemy, of course you can make, but separate friendship from your business. Yeah. And that is where I failed. All my clients that came around me became my friends. And then they bring job to me on the platform of friendship. And that is where I missed it. And I have reached this point where I told myself since last week, 2 weeks ago, last month, that I give up. I'm done. But this platform now has helped me to put down a lot of things and where to pick up again and start from.
Yep.
I think the first thing I'm going to do, rebuild my character. Clients should remain clients. When it comes to my business, please, my business, when you come to me, business is business. Let's do our friendship outside my work zone. Let's do our friendship outside my work life. When we meet outside in church, in parties, everything outside, please, we will be the best of friends. We can be the best of friends. But please help me not to be my friend when you're coming to me for business.
I want to
Because, like
I
she
love
rightly
that.
said, I am highly compassionate, and I don't know how to put that away from my attribute. Okay, sir.
You see, very, very, and can we just put our hands together because God is using this platform? You know, what I'm going to say is, let there be, you've clearly said it, let there be a separation between your friendship
Boundaries.
and your business.
what it's called.
Boundaries. Boundaries. You can set up a website and carry discount coupons in your bag. Oh, Sister Victoria, I want you to make a dress for me. Okay, go ahead, send in your style, all right? This is a $10 discount if you go through my website and sign in, and then I'll price you there. Finish. They are dealing with documentation. They sign in there, they put their card information. Your job is to deliver it and give it to them. Our people like stuffs like that.
You gotta put
Immediately it begins to, you know, I was doing home remodeling here, carpeting, drywall. I've worked on some people's house, they refuse to pay me. They tell me what you did here is not what I want. I mean, I'm talking about after days of labor. I mean, you know, this is not what it used to be. But on the claim that it is not what I told you to do. So I've learned a lot. So our people, if you want to deal with them, they come in, immediately they fill in a paper and sign, they respect it. But when it is just verbal, it's still within the parameters of your friendship. So that's my own advice. And I think we are going to partner on that.
Yeah. And whilst you are saying your final words, just when Pastor mentioned partnership, we will also like to partner, like African would like to partner with all these businesses out here. So whilst you are advising, tell us how partnership would look like between, you know.
If you're willing to partner, just
With
let
us.
us know.
Yeah. If you're
Our
not
job
willing
is
to, it's okay.
Reach out to you. If there's any partner that wants to take your vision, make it big, you know, let us know.
Okay.
And if your business is where you don't want to partner, please,
It's okay.
it's okay.
Of course, partnership is needed.
All right, so I want to foremost say that thank you for this invite. I am really excited about the future and what the Pastor and Afri Connect is doing, and I think that this will go a long way to help. I'm very passionate about our youth, and so this will go a long way to help them. My advice to small businesses or individuals who are looking to start small businesses is that either you are old or you are young, and to the old, do not be afraid to approach a younger person who has the same line of business as you and talk to them. Please put old age and the difference aside and go for your goals. You will also be amazed that these younger ones or these older ones are looking for you to also come to them to seek advice or even for them to share their experiences with you. I have a very open door policy, and I know that some of my colleagues do know me so much that anything that you need that I can be of help, I will gladly and joyfully do it. The part of me that connects people and resources is openly available to old, young, whatever class that you belong to. I do not hold information. That is not me. I know information comes and you have to give it out. And so I am open to that. you can connect with us either on Facebook, either on Instagram, either through my work or my personal. Please feel free and be respectful about that as well. I'll throw that out there. And also, in terms of partnering with the AfriConnect and the church, anything that we could do, our doors and somebody says our windows, our garages, our everything is open. And it's just to do the will of God and to glorify God. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for honoring us.
Okay, so let me just re-echo the need for mentoring. It's very vital, it's very valuable. I cannot overemphasize that there are certain professions that even after studying 6, 7, 8 years, you still have to go and do apprenticeship. So you cannot downplay that. It's very valuable, so whatever you want to do, seek out who a mentor. And like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be somebody close to you by proximity. It can be somebody you follow online. And there are many books and many resources out there that you benefit from. So that's very important. Now, if you have started, or you're planning to start, okay, have a mentor, have a plan as well. Have a plan, have clear objectives, what you want to achieve and how you're going to achieve it. But do not be a perfectionist. Do not be a perfectionist. If you're a perfectionist, the moment you see small failure, you will pull out of it and give up on it and think, oh, it's not going to work. So do not be a perfectionist. Have a plan. It's very important. And another thing I would add is to continuously add value to what you're doing. Continuously add value to what you're doing. If we're talking about providing solutions, solving problems, responding to needs, if you're responding to needs and you realize that your personal objectives are not being met, you might want to consider the quality of solution you are providing or the people that you are providing it for. So sometimes there is nothing wrong with the quality that you're providing, but it's just that the people you are providing it for do not appreciate the value. And so you might want to look for another group of people. Okay, so that is all where value addition comes into play. And sometimes also to add value, to scale up to the next level, you might want to reach out to somebody and say, help me in this area. Still in the area of value addition. I learned from a mentor some time back that whatever God did not place in you, He placed around you. So look around you and see who can help me to overcome this. Who can help me? Who do I know? Who can I talk to help me in this area? I'm facing challenges in a particular area. Who can I talk to? Who can help me? And seek help. So don't try to do everything by yourself for yourself. So seek help, tap into the resources that are around you. And it's going to help you a lot to upskill what you're doing. That's what I would say. And of course, I'm open to partnerships. I'm willing to partnership. Forex trading is not the only thing I do. I come from mass communications background. So I'm a professional in reinforcing. And also, I'm very good at assimilating information and disseminating information. So those are all. I think my strongest skill is communication. That's my strongest. I think Pastor can agree with that.
Great. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Miss Jasmine?
All I can say, there's a scripture in Matthew, and I'm just the part of it. So you can't light a candle and put it under a table. Your business, everything that you're doing, you have to let it shine. Don't hide yourself. Put yourself out there. One thing is, whenever I'm going anywhere, since I have a skincare brand, I always have some on me. So I don't care who I meet. I'm not shy about it. I will show you, smell it, try it, whatever it is, I will show you, because at the end of the day, this is my baby. If you have a beautiful child, you want everybody to see your child, right? My business is that. Always put yourself out there. Don't be shy, because you didn't start the business for it to hide in your room. I think the man who was here earlier said, post it, tell people about it. Look, make sure people get tired of it. Show them so much that they get tired, because one thing I've realized is the more you post, the more you tell people, it will stick in their mind. So if they go somewhere, they'll be like, oh, this person has a skincare brand. Even if they would not use it themselves, they'll refer you to somebody. Always put yourself out there. Even if it's out of 100 people that are there, one person will believe in it and they will, reach out to you. And the next thing I think everybody has said, always educate yourself, always learn, be willing to learn, be willing to ask questions. One thing I've realized is for us young people, pride is our problem. We are one of the people, we like to, oh, I know it, I know. You don't know it. It's easy. It's better to ask. It's better to ask questions. It's better to sit under the feet of somebody and learn from them. Even if they're not paying you, your payment is what you are learning from them. Be willing to learn. Be willing to ask questions. Be willing to sacrifice time and know. Like I think Sir said right here, he said, find somebody to mentor. Like Ms. Trish just gave us the website. Find somebody that will mentor you, that will help you be better, because every day that you wake up is a chance for you to grow. Every day that you wake up is a new chance. Always be willing to learn. And I'll say if you have a business already, also be willing to always rebrand. Because the world is changing every day. You have to find new strategies. Right now, social media is the spot.
Yep.
You have to always be willing to rebrand yourself. Every 6 months, you have to find a way to rebrand yourself. Grow in a different way. How am I presenting? How am I putting myself out there? If yesterday I did an A and it didn't work, tomorrow try B, C, D. One of them. Always be willing to rebrand. Always be willing to build on yourself and grow. That's all I have to say. But thank you, Helena, for inviting me to be among these amazing people. I really appreciate it. So thank you. And you already know we can partner in any way.
Thank you for honoring the invitation. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone. You guys could have been anywhere but here. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation and being here to give us all this knowledge and all this good stuff that, is very resourceful to us. One thing I want to add, and I'm also learning as a nonprofit founder, like, I remember when I met Miss Trey, she told me one thing that is a really, like, every day, like, is in my mind. She said, do not be afraid to walk into any building and try to connect with them. Networking is very important. You don't know it all. Like Pastor said, if you don't know it, it's around you, So find it, go around you, even if you think the person is not even useful in your own mind, just try. The worst thing you can do is to try, right? I mean, the best thing you can do for yourself is to try. And the worst thing that could come out of that is no. And no haven't seen no killed anybody yet, So just try it, like push yourself. Sometimes I know it's hard, like, you don't know, you don't want people to just look at, like, it's a lot of thoughts, but let yourself, like, allow yourself to connect with people, allow yourself to network, so you can get it, because network gets you in people's faces. Network will get you all you need. Like, this network right here, we're able to find out all the resources that we were able to get today and, motivate each other. So if you are out there, if you don't take anything out of this program today, don't be afraid. If you fail, it's okay. Get up, start again. Learn from your mistakes and, just keep going. Keep pushing yourself and network.
All right. I want to say thank you to everyone. I'm going to read our last quote for the Black History Month. And this is from Harriet Tubman. It says, every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. It is very important that we understand that what we've just done here today is a spark that is going to become a bigger fire. All right? So I want to say thank you to every one of you that have made it out here and to inspire somebody out there. I want us to also know that there's going to be, occasions where we are going to bring you individually, showcase your product and then be able to advertise more of what you are doing. Thank God that we all have that opportunity to be able to partner. Harriet, I want to see I want to see a sample of your Jasmine, a sample of your of your product if you have some of them. So we want to see how much we can be able to inspire ourselves, inspire our community. We are looking at also maybe during the summer to be able to do something outdoor. We have a huge parking lot out here where we can be able to connect actually with our community, just like a fair, you know, where our people can come in and see what African entrepreneurs are doing within the city of Columbus. So having said that, I want to say thank you. And to our audience that are online, thank you so much for watching. And those that are going to watch afterward, thank you. And we want to inspire you, whatever gift, whatever talent that you have, please don't bury it. Bring it out and let it be a blessing to mankind. Thank you all and have a wonderful rest of the day.
And thank you, Pastor. Thank you
Amen.
for
Thank you
also
so much.
giving us this beautiful place to host our events and, like, you know, partner with you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think I want to end with this quote by Barack Obama. It said, "Change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the change that we seek." So let's take that home and, you know, be the change. Don't complain, doesn't solve anything. Be the change. Oh, this is what's going on with African community. What are you doing to change it? Be the change, solve problems, and we will all get there someday.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And bye, viewers.